YouTube land, what's up? It's your girl Makar from Cougar's Closet. So listen, you are at my segment tonight called Curse Broken. Okay, so many of y'all know, right? I have curses thrown on me all the time, so I know how to get them off because I'm always having them thrown on me. This has been going on my whole life. But a few years back, well, more than a few years back, I had a curse thrown on me, a hex thrown on me, a potion pot brewing on me, a voodoo doll in the backyard out on me, my hair out on me. I had all of this stuff out on me, right? So somebody had threw a hex on me. So I was calling my mom and dad to tell them, what was going on and what the issue was or whatever. So my mom said she called me back. So I think it might have took her a couple of days to call me back. And so she was like, me and your dad decided that you need to go first sort out a psychic. I said, okay. And she was like, me and your dad was talking, and your dad said somebody threw witchcraft on you. Somebody threw a hex on you. So you need to get in touch with a psychic. So I said, okay. So at the time, I was living in Atlanta, right? So in Atlanta, I don't know how it is now, but when I was down there were psychics all over the place, like in their yards, their houses. They turned their houses into psychics, and they got the big signs with the 5 hands saying psychic going across and all of this stuff, right? Palm readers and all of this stuff. So I get on the phone. I start hitting these places because I need this hex broke off of me. I need this curse off of me. So, of course, I'm on the phone because I'm in Atlanta. I don't know where the hell I'm going. I need to know your destination, the time, and I need to be there. I don't know where I'm going to know Atlanta. So, I'm using my phone, right? Google, contacting all these psychic places of these peoples that be out in their yard and all of this mess. Walking up to you. So, I know over about 15 or 20 of them. I was desperate. Y'all, none of these psychic people answered their phones. I got voicemails out of all of them. Well, then I ended up calling one, and she did answer the phone. And she said, hello, this is Chaoyang Banyang Psychic Center, whatever she said. And I said, hello. I said, this the psychic place? And she said, yeah. I said, are you into white magic? And she said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, I need to have a curse removed off of me. She said, what? I said, somebody threw a hex on me, and I need to have the curse broken off of me, so I need to come to you. The phone said click. So I thought it was a mishap. So I said, okay, well, let me call her back. But I'm thinking, I already know what the deal is. I already know when she answered that phone, she knew I was the real deal, and she wasn't. She out in that yard with this psychic hand, and she taking people money. She knew who I was when I called. So I kept calling. She wouldn't answer. She wouldn't answer. She wouldn't answer. She kept sending me the voicemail. So I waited. I gave it, I think, about 3 days at the max of trying to get in touch with this lady. She never did answer the phone, so I finally gave up. So I called my mom back, and I told her I didn't understand how these psychics was out here and talking about they practice all of this stuff. Now the real deal show up, and we get disconnected. I done left all of you psychic readers voicemails. Told y'all I had a curse on me. None of them returned my call back. None of them. So I called my mom back and told her what the deal was that I couldn't find nobody, and then I told her about the woman that hung up, and we came to the conclusion this woman out here bezzling folks. So she said, okay. She said, let me talk it over with your father, and I'll call you back. I said, okay. She get back on the phone and said, your father said, you need to find a witchcraft doctor. I said, okay. So I go on the internet, and I told parts of this story before on my channel somewhere. I go on the internet. I start typing, looking up these witchcraft doctors. So I find a witchcraft doctor. He's in New York. You go on his page. He got some type of tracker where it tracks the location. It has like a map of the whole world, and it has like a dot pointing or something like where you at or something, what state or something. It had this time rolling. The times was rolling real fast. It was like that. So I got his phone number. I got in touch with him or whatever. And I told him what happened. And I told him, I said, my mom and dad said that they believe it's a curse on me. And he said, it sounds like it is. So we made an appointment, right? But we had to do it over the phone because he was in New York and I was in Atlanta. So we made the appointment. I told him what all happened. He asked me, was I having these certain symptoms? I told him, yeah. He said, that's what happened. He said, okay, I tell you what. He said, we'll book the appointment. The appointment was like 7 o'clock at night. He said, we'll book the appointment. He said, for 7, I need you in all white. No dark colors, no nothing. He said, all white. I need to be able to pull and see energy. He said, I need all white. That's okay. He said, make sure you have on white socks too, new white socks. I said, okay. He said, make sure you're sitting in the corner. I said, okay. We get on the phone. Now we're going further in depth about what happened. And so he said, well, let me ask you this. Did you recently eat somebody's cooking? I said, yeah, because I did. He said, that's when the deal went down. It's okay. And he said, it wasn't one of them. He said, it was a few of them there, wasn't it? I said, yeah, it was. He said, about 3? I said, yep, about 3. He said, they came together on this deal. He said, it was meant to kill you, which I already knew because I wasn't far out from dying. So I had to pay so much money to this man. Mama and Daddy had to step in on the finances to get this curse off of me. It was that type of business. Okay, so I shelled out, what all, he required for me to pay. Okay, so after I shell out, he told me to get a piece of paper and a pen. I go get the paper, I go get the pen. He tell me he want me to go to the herbal store, the herbalistic shop. And he wants me to buy all of these herbs. It was all these herbs I had never heard of a day in my life. And I don't know if I had, at the time, I know he had me on like a probiotic. And then he had me on like this special type of zinc balls. You can't even find them halfway now. They little zinc balls. He had me on that with all of these herbs, right? He said, okay, I'm going to have you taking these, he said, until the bottle's finished or whatever. So I was taking them. So after I finished the assignment, he telling me, every day as you wake up, you're going to feel better and better and better and better. He said, because they tried to kill you, so you got to come all the way up. You got to come through some things. I said, okay. So I'm taking this stuff. We talking every 2 days. He got me on a special diet, fresh pineapples. They can't be cut or pre-sliced by a store. Nothing can be touched. Everything has to come out of the live. Your desserts come from sweet potatoes and sweet corn. he had me on that type of diet. And so, y'all, I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So, after I had finished the medication, right? So, we was talking every 2 or 3 days or whatever about the progress or whatever. So, after I finished everything that he had me on, right? But in the midst of the conversation, he said, well, after, because see, it was still on there. He said, well, after you finish up with this, there's something else you're going to have to do. And I said, what? He was like, you ain't going to want to do it, but you're going to have to do it. He said, this has to be done. I said, okay. He said, I'll tell you later. I said, okay. When you're done. I said, okay. So when I finished everything, I called him back. And I don't know if this medication ran, these herbalistics that he had me on ran like a month or something, or 3. It lasted a good while. So when I finished them, I called him back and told him I was all done with him. He was like, okay, now getting to the part that you don't want to do. He all the way in New York. I'm in Atlanta. He say, okay, you done with what I gave you. Now I'm going to send you up into the hospital. I said, what? I'm going to send you up into the hospital. I'm going to send you you need to see a white coat doctor because what I gave you, I need to chase that. I need to backstep on that. I need to check that. So I'm like, okay. So he said, here's what you do. Here's what you gonna do. When you go in there, you tell when you get in the room with the doctor, when the doctor step in the room, he already got the scenario going. When the doctor come in the room and asks you what your deal is, you tell him you got Shaquanda Banja Shishanda. And I swear I don't even remember what he told me to tell the white coat doctor that I had. He said, you go in there, you tell that doctor that you got Shanga Banga Wanga Banga Wanga. He said, you don't say nothing else. I said, what? I said, what if he... Tell him what you got and don't say nothing else. I said, okay. He said, I got to chase that. I said, okay. I said, well, what if he asks me? He said, don't say nothing other than what I told you to say. He said, he know who sent you. He said, don't say nothing else. He know who sent you. The man in New York, I'm in Atlanta. He's sending to me any doctor, any hospital in the world of Atlanta and said, he know who sent you. Okay. I don't remember if that was Grady or where I went. Here I am doing what the witchcraft doctor said. I walk into the hospital. They, give me all together, name, tag, ID, date of birth, insurance card, rah, this, when did you feel the pain, rah, this, and rah, that. We got that taken care of. Waiting room about 4 hours. We got all that taken care of. So when I got back there, somebody brought me in there and shut the door. Dr. Zucchini will be with you in 15 minutes. He's wrapping up with the next patient. I can hear him through the wall. So he comes in, knocks on the door, comes in. So, what brings you in today? What's going on? I have Wanda Shikanda Shanda Banja Tranja Banda Banda. Yo, That doctor froze. His eyes got big as saucers. He didn't move. I had to hold up my end of the bargain because Doc need this for this part B of A. He didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. We stood there looking at each other like this for a long time. Then finally, he started asking me, what symptoms are you having? And I'm telling him the symptoms that I'm having. The whole time I'm telling him the symptoms that I'm having, this man has sat down and took a seat. He like this, listening with his head down. The Shaka Kanda Baramda was whatever, I guess I'm assuming was whatever the name of the curse was. I don't know what that man sent me to tell that doctor. The doctor came out. He said, I'll be back in a minute here. You can go ahead and get dressed. He went out. He came back. He didn't say nothing. He handed me the prescription. And he was froze when he did that. When I took the prescription, that man couldn't get himself together. So he walked out the door. Okay, I started getting dressed. When I started getting dressed, they had the way the hospital was set up, they had at the time a whole row of cubicles for all the doctors. And they had the little dividers and the phones, and the doctors had the pictures of their kids and they had their laptops, and this and that and that and this or whatever just for the doctors. Well, I'm coming out the room that he had me in. It was like a long hall. But as I'm coming up, the cubicles is right here, and he's sitting at his cubicle. Nobody else there, no other doctors there, just him. He the only one. All these doctors in Atlanta flying around. He the only one sitting in this cubicle. Me and him, silent. We on each other's frequency. He was sitting at his desk with his head down like this. He was froze. Like, he had this, it was more like, I can't believe this. And he lifted his head up because, see, the door was right here and the cubicle was right here, but the door was right here and the cubicle was right here. It was like kind of like on a diagonal, where we could see each other as I'm leaving for the door. And he saw me getting ready to leave. That man did not move. He didn't blink his eyes. He did nothing. And it was just in his head, it was more like, this real. And I walked out the door with the prescription. So then, when I got the prescription, the witchcraft doctor told me to call him soon as I got home. So he asked the dosage and the amount and this and that he gave me. And he telling me to take this with this and that and that and this and this and that. He taking me through phases of now. At first I couldn't have, sweets. I had to eat sweets and corn, get it from my vegetables. Now I can't have fully loaded chocolate or candy or sweets or nothing, but I can have fresh banana bread with honey and bananas, and I can put it in the oven. That's what I can have now for dessert. So he was taking me through different phases where I could, where my diet had to be light, like bone broth, like strictly bone broths and liquids, and because I was that weak because they almost killed me. And so then it started elevating. And then he told me a couple of things that was going to happen. And they end up happening, and that's how we got the curse up off of me. His medicine, cause see, he's the shade tree doctor. So he giving me shade tree healing, but he needed the other half of the white coat doctor medicine to balance me out and get the curse off of me. And that was just breaking the curse. That wasn't the bodily harm, the damage and the injury, the side effects that was left behind. That ain't got nothing to do with none of that. That was just to break the curse off of me. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Because y'all know how I get. I forgot about my phone. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so we got the curse off or whatever, right? And like I said, that didn't include the damage that was left behind. So I'm dealing with that now or whatever. And so this is about the time when I can admit for the first time out my mouth, I was about to sign a contract I was about to sign a contract in Black Blood Ink with the man. And this is the part on the video where I tell y'all, because see, I didn't tell y'all the whole story. But I talked in bits and pieces. This is when I tell y'all about that I had, after I found out, what had happened, and after I found out who had did it, I wanted to get even. So this is the part where I tell y'all on the video that I had started decalcifying my third eye. That's when I started eating all the melons. I started eating honeydews and all kind of melons, and I had to eat all kind of berries and blueberries and raspberries and remove the meat, remove the DNA out of my system. So I was just strictly eating fruit and water and juice every day. And I was going outside, activating my third eye by the sun. And I found it was blue. It said like this. And I could tell I was getting to it because the sun, I was in front of the sun with my eyes closed. But the sun rays was coming in my eyes. And it went from dark green. And it started lifting up like the orange. And then started going into yellow. And then started going into white. And then that's when I saw my third eye that was shaped like a cone that had a tilt to it that was blue. So I knew then it was starting to work. Plus I had to start doing these vibration sounds to open up my ears and stuff and my mouth and stuff, and start removing stuff to help with my eye to open it up. You have to make these certain vibrations and stuff until your ears start popping. You start having all these headaches and stuff. And so I had got about like a week in. Because I was ready to get even. This what y'all doing around here? So I was decalcifying my eye. Well, this is when the time I told you y'all, I called my brother because, see, he knew, he was like the other doctor. Me and him was like the shade tree doctor and the white coat doctor. He knew that I needed another part to the story. Just like the doctor needed the other part, the witchcraft doctor needed the other part to the story. So I got the melons, I got the diet, I got the hydration. I done removed the meat. I'm a week and a half or something from removing the meat out. I had checked, they told you how much time it takes for it all, a nice part of it to get out and this and that, or whatever. But see, he knew the chemical that I needed. See, it was something it was something I'm gonna have to look on Google that you could smoke and decalcify your third eye. Yeah, decalcify your third eye. So I had the diet together, I had the hydration together, and then I'm gonna go buy this stuff. Cool. I get off the phone, get back to my meditation, get the decalcifying, and a couple of days I'm gonna go get this stuff and I'm gonna smoke it, and baby, it's gonna be a mad woman on the loose. Y'all throwing what? How? That's when I was operating from my dark side because somebody had tried to kill me. About 5 minutes later of me getting off the phone and getting into my groove, and now I got part A and part B, my mother calls. So what are you doing? No, hold on. You can pack that up and get back on your protein and we ain't messing with that. So you don't know nothing about that, and then you crossing dangerous territory. That ain't got nothing to do with you. We getting it off. We got it off. It's off. Let that be on them when it come time to deal. Don't let them have to deal with you. Leave that alone. So we left that alone. We got the curse off and we went on about our business. But let me see what's the name of that chemical or whatever it was that you can smoke to decalcify your third eye. Name of chemical you can smoke to decalcify your third eye. By the way, I don't recommend anybody doing this. Come on, where is it at? They got 10 ways to activate it. Okay, so they talk about fluoride. Does fluoride harden the pineal gland? What is a calcified pineal gland? Happens when calcium builds up in the body tissue, causing tissue to harden. The pineal gland tends to calcify as you age. With some calcifications, it's normal. Excessive calcification can prevent your pineal gland from functioning properly. But see, I was aiming to kill. I'm trying to see, is that THL that helps detoxify the pineal gland? Come on, somebody gonna start to tell me something. Let me see, I see something, but we always getting off subject because I'm telling y'all, like, Google be with me a lot more than not, but sometimes Google can't get with me. I'm trying to see. It ain't showing me, but I know it's something you can take because he told me what it was. I hate this stuff. Ways to decalcify third eye. Okay, this says this 11 ways to decalcify. Let's see if they can get me halfway there. You know how they 11 ways. I'm hoping we'll find it in here. 11 ways to decalcify your pineal gland. Where is the 11 ways? They got all this mess going. I'm looking for the list. then a commercial going. Try natural remedies. Each of these can decalcify the pineal gland. Stimulate it. Guta, Kula, Boron, Alpha, sprouts, parsley, organo oil, sea moss, neem oil, blue green, alagai, spirulina, coconut oil. These are things, but this is not that chemical that I was looking for. Because you can go to the health food store, I think, and get it. I thought it was called TH. Is it the TH? It was something he told me. I can't remember, but anyway, you can smoke it. And it decalcifies your third eye. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? If you know, please comment below. But, so, yeah, I just want to do this because, you know, so many people don't believe in curses. They don't believe in hexes. And I be getting them all the time. So, I got another assignment that I'm supposed to be working on from one of my higher end gurus. When I got my reading, he told me that I need to start working on emotional intellect or emotional intelligence. I don't know what that means. So we'll come back in the lab later on for that segment. We'll talk about either emotional intellect or emotional intelligence. Yeah. Are those the same thing?